Many people today feel that the world is changing faster than ever before. Every day brings new challenges, new surprises, and new questions about the future. In moments like these, one message becomes more important than anything else: the promise that Jesus Christ will return. This promise is known as the Second Coming. It is a message of hope, purpose, and direction. And recently, President Dallin H, a respected leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, gave an urgent reminder. He invited every person to prepare their heart, their mind, and their life for this great day. But why does this message feel so important right now? Why do so many people say that this is the time to pay attention? The answer is simple: because the Second Coming is not just about the future. It is about the choices we make today. Think about it for a moment. If the greatest event in history were truly on the way, how would it change the way you live? How would it change the way you think? This is the question that touches every life, no matter who you are or where you come from. President Oaks teaches that we should not fear. Instead, we should prepare with faith, with calm minds, and with steady hearts. His message is not to create worry, but to inspire action that brings peace, goodness, and strength into our daily lives. So stay with me, because in the next moments we will explore why this message matters, what it means for us today, and how each of us can be ready. The Second Coming is a promise, and understanding that promise can change everything. Now that we understand why this message feels important today, let's take a clear look at what the Second Coming actually means. The Second Coming is a sacred promise given by Jesus Christ and taught through many generations. It tells us that one day He will return to the earth again. His return will not be hidden or small. It will be known across the world and will bring a complete change to life as we know it. To understand it simply, the first coming was when Jesus lived on earth as a teacher and example. The Second Coming will be different. He will return with full glory, to guide the world and begin a new chapter for all people. Scriptures explain that before this day arrives, certain events will take place. The message of the gospel will reach many nations. Some people will choose faith, while others will turn away. There will be confusion and noise, as many voices try to pull people in different directions. These moments are not given to create fear. They are reminders that the world is moving toward a promised future. Another important truth is this: no one knows the exact time of the Second Coming. Not leaders, not scholars, not anyone else. This is why living with steady daily preparation is wise. Since the moment is unknown, readiness becomes a way of life. The Second Coming is also a message of great hope. It teaches us that the world will not stay in trouble forever. A time of peace, fairness, and healing will come. Christ will return to lead the world toward goodness and unity. So when we speak about the Second Coming, we are speaking about a promise that God's plan continues, that His guidance is real, and that every good choice matters. With this understanding in mind, the next question becomes clear. Why is this message feeling so urgent today? Let's look at what President Dallin H and other leaders teach about this important time. For many years, President Oaks has spoken clearly about preparing for the future. His words are not meant to create fear. They are meant to create awareness, calmness, and purpose. He teaches that we should pay attention to what is happening around us, and also pay attention to what is happening inside our hearts. One reason he speaks with urgency is because the world is moving at great speed. Technology, ideas, and societies change faster than in any other time in history. With so much noise and distraction, President Oaks reminds us to hold on to the things that do not change: faith, kindness, honesty, hope, and trust in God's plan. These steady values help us stay strong in a world that often feels uncertain. Another reason for the urgency is the simple truth that life is unpredictable. We do not know what tomorrow brings. President Oaks teaches that preparation is not about waiting for a date, it is about shaping our character every day. When we develop patience, humility, forgiveness, and faithfulness now, we are ready for whatever the future holds. Preparation is not an event, it is a lifestyle. President Oaks also explains that the world will continue to face tests. Some tests are physical, some are social, some are personal. These tests do not mean that God has left us. Instead, they show us how important spiritual strength really is. When we build spiritual strength, we can stay calm even when the world feels noisy. We can stay steady even when many voices try to lead us in different directions. He teaches that one of the clearest signs that preparation is needed now is the rise of confusion. Many people, especially young people, feel lost between so many different opinions. President Oaks invites everyone to return to simple truths, to live with honesty, to treat others with respect, and to seek guidance through prayer and scripture. These simple acts bring light in a time of confusion. Another point he often shares is the idea of personal responsibility. He reminds us that preparing for Christ's return is not only a global message, it is a personal one. Each person must decide how they want to live. Each person must choose whether they will build their life on strong spiritual foundations or on uncertain promises of the world. President Oaks also speaks about unity. He teaches that as the world moves forward, unity becomes more important than ever. Families need unity. Communities need unity. Faith groups need unity. When people work together, forgive each other, and support each other, they are living the kind of life that Christ taught. This unity is part of our preparation. He often reminds us that the second coming will be a time of great purpose. It will bring clarity and peace to those who have lived with faith. Because of this, he invites everyone to stay focused on building a life that reflects goodness. Even small daily actions, speaking kindly, helping someone in need, choosing honesty, these acts help us prepare in simple, steady ways. President Oaks' message of urgency is not about counting days. It is about improving hearts. It is about choosing what matters. It is about lifting others, strengthening families, and staying close to God. When we do these things, we are prepared not only for the second coming, but also for every challenge and opportunity in life. Many people feel uncertain about the future, but the message from leaders like President Oaks is gentle and encouraging. Do not fear the future. Prepare for it with faith and confidence. When we prepare in this way, we replace worry with peace. This is why the urgency matters. Not because the exact time is known, but because the way we live today shapes our tomorrow. The message is simple: begin now, stay steady, and walk with faith. Now that we understand why leaders speak with urgency, the next step becomes practical. How do we prepare in our everyday lives? In the next section, we will explore clear, simple steps that anyone can follow. Preparation does not mean dramatic changes or sudden actions. True preparation is built slowly, through simple habits that shape our character and strengthen our faith. These habits create a foundation that supports us in every season of life. One of the first steps of preparation is to build a steady connection with God. This does not require long speeches or perfect words. Even a short, sincere prayer each day helps open our heart and gives us direction. When we pray regularly, we develop a sense of peace and clarity that supports us during difficult times. Another important step is to study holy teachings. When we read scriptures, we learn principles that guide us toward wise choices. These principles act like a light that helps us see what is good, what is right, and what leads to growth. Regular study, even a few verses a day, opens our mind to spiritual strength. Preparation also includes building strong personal character. This means working on qualities such as patience, kindness, and self-control. These qualities may seem small, but they change the way we react to challenges. When we practice patience, we stay calm in stressful times. When we practice kindness, we bring peace to those around us. When we practice self-control, we make better choices. Another practical step is to serve others. Service is more than helping with physical needs. It is showing care and support to those around us. A simple act of service can lift someone's spirit and strengthen our own heart. Service brings us closer to Christ, because we follow His example of love and compassion. Preparation also includes creating a home where peace can grow. A peaceful home does not require perfection. It requires respect, understanding, and forgiveness. When families choose to speak kindly, solve problems calmly, and give space for each other's feelings, they build a strong foundation. A peaceful home becomes a place of safety during uncertain times. Another meaningful step is to guard our minds. We live in a world filled with many voices and messages. Some messages uplift us, others distract us. Preparation means choosing what we allow into our thoughts. When we focus on what is truthful, hopeful, and good, our mind becomes stronger and clearer. This helps us make wise decisions. Another part of preparation is to stay steady in our responsibilities. Whether it is work, school, family, or community service, doing our duties faithfully builds discipline. Discipline helps us stay organized, reliable, and ready for future challenges. Small daily responsibilities prepare us for bigger blessings. Preparation also includes developing emotional strength. Life brings happiness, but also moments of sadness, disappointment, and confusion. Emotional strength means learning how to stay calm, how to think clearly, and how to find support when needed. This type of strength grows when we take care of our health, talk to trusted friends, and allow ourselves to rest when necessary. Another practical step is to develop good habits of gratitude. When we take time to notice our blessings, big or small, our heart becomes lighter. Gratitude helps us stay hopeful even when times are difficult. President Oaks often reminds us that gratitude opens the way for greater spiritual growth. Preparation also includes learning to forgive. Holding on to anger or hurt slows our progress and weakens our peace. Forgiveness does not mean we forget the past. It means we free our heart from its weight. When we forgive, we make space for healing, peace, and spiritual power. Finally, preparation means choosing faith in daily decisions. Faith is not only a belief, it is a way of living. When we choose honesty, even when it is not easy. When we choose patience, even when we feel rushed. When we choose hope, even when life feels heavy, these choices prepare us more than anything else. These practical steps are simple but powerful. They help us grow day by day. And when we follow them with sincerity, we find that preparation becomes natural, peaceful, and meaningful. Now that we have explored the practical steps of preparation, we can look ahead to the next question. What will the return of Christ mean for those who have prepared their lives with faith and goodness? Let's move to that important message of hope. The return of Jesus Christ is a promise filled with light and assurance. For people who have tried their best to live with kindness, honesty, and faith, His coming is not a moment of worry. It is a moment of peace. It is the beginning of a brighter future that God has planned for all His children. One of the greatest blessings of Christ's return is the promise of lasting peace. Today, many hearts feel heavy with stress, conflict, and confusion. But the Scriptures teach that when Christ returns, the world will enter a time of calmness and harmony. People will learn to understand each other better. Families will feel greater unity, and communities will grow stronger. Another blessing is clarity. In our world, many people feel unsure about what is right or what direction to follow. When Christ returns, that uncertainty will lift. His presence will bring understanding, fairness, and truth in a way that touches every life. People who have waited with faith will finally see the purpose behind many of life's challenges. Christ's return will also bring peace. Hearts that have felt sadness for a long time will feel calm again. Problems that seem too hard to solve will feel lighter. His presence will give strength, love, and a new beginning to those who have followed Him. Another part of this hope is the promise of joy. Real joy, not the short, temporary kind, but a joy that stays. This joy comes from living in a world guided by the teachings of Christ, where goodness is encouraged, families grow stronger, and love becomes a daily way of life. Many people also look forward to the promise of unity. Christ's return will bring people together in ways the world has never seen. Differences that once divided groups will feel smaller. Love and understanding will become central. This unity is one of the most beautiful parts of the future that Christ will establish. For the faithful, his return is also a confirmation that their efforts matter. Every act of kindness, every quiet prayer, every moment of choosing good over wrong, none of it is forgotten. Christ's coming shows that a life built on goodness brings lasting blessings. So, what happens when Christ returns? A world filled with peace, a life filled with clarity, hearts filled with healing, families filled with unity, and people filled with joy that lasts. This is the hope that believers hold close. It is the reason why preparation feels meaningful, and it is the promise that gives strength during difficult days. With this hopeful picture in mind, one final question remains. What does this message invite us to do right now? In the next section, we will look at the invitation and encouragement that this message offers to every person. The message of the second coming is not only about the future. It is a gentle reminder for today. It invites every person to pause for a moment and think about the direction of their life. It is not meant to create fear. It is meant to guide us toward a better and more meaningful path. This message encourages us not to delay what is good. Life moves quickly, and sometimes we forget what truly matters. The invitation is simple. Bring more faith, more goodness, and more purpose into your daily actions. Even small changes made each day can build a peaceful and strong future. This message also invites us to look inside ourselves. Are we growing? Are we improving? Are we becoming the kind of person we want to be? Christ's teachings encourage qualities like kindness, patience, honesty, forgiveness, and love. When we focus on these qualities, we prepare our hearts in the best possible way. President Oaks and other leaders teach that preparation is personal. Each of us has our own journey, our own challenges, and our own opportunities. The invitation is to take simple steps daily, steps that bring peace, strength, and spiritual growth into our lives. This message also invites us to lift others. When we support friends, family, and those around us, we help create a world with more understanding and care. Even a small act of kindness can brighten someone's day and bring us closer to Christ's example. Above all, this message invites us to stay hopeful. The future is not something to fear. It is something to prepare for with confidence. When we choose goodness each day, we build a life ready for every blessing that God desires to give. With this personal invitation in mind, we now move to the closing message, a final reminder that brings everything together and strengthens our purpose. The second coming is more than a future event. It is a message that invites us to live with purpose today. It encourages us to grow, to improve, and to bring more goodness into our lives and the lives of others. Every act of kindness, every choice to forgive, every moment of faith adds light to our path. President Dallin H. Oaks teaches that preparation is not about fear. It is about hope. It is about building a life that brings peace to our hearts, no matter what is happening around us. When we choose steady, daily progress, we create a foundation that helps us stay strong, calm, and confident. This message also reminds us that we are not alone. God's love continues, His guidance continues, and His promises continue. The future is in His hands, and He invites us to walk forward with trust. As we look ahead, let us remember this: the best time to grow is now. The best time to choose goodness is now. And the best time to strengthen our faith is now. When we do these things, we prepare ourselves for every blessing that God has planned. So as we end this message, I invite you to reflect on one simple question. What step will you take today to bring more light into your life? Even one small step can change everything.